Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the internet and of YouTube. Welcome to Jibber Jabber. I am your host, as always, Skatarmas, otherwise known as Tone Shift. With me today, we have a regrettably small number of people. I'll just go down the list. First of all, we have Darkness.
Hey again, everyone.
Next up, we have a Patrick Soviet Starfish, who is apparently coming blood.
Oh, there's no.
Oh, blimey.
And the target of Soviet's ire is Paladin staring into your soul.
What's up? And I cannot stress this enough. My fellow bronies.
And last,
Go jump off a cliff.
And last but certainly not least, we have Tom117Z, the author of various stories that I'm doing readings of, including A Sparkle in the Darkness, which should be becoming visible on YouTube tomorrow, the first chapter.
Darkle,
yeah. Let me just tell you before we get onto our pre-assigned list of topics. I've already said this to you, but I need to say it to everyone else. I have been having to make a conscious effort when writing the scheduled Patreon posts for Sparkle in the Darkness to not call it Sparkle in the Darkle. Because of fucking Tom. And that goddamn nickname.
To be fair, I got it from a comment.
Oh, I know you did. I know where you got it. You just refused to let it go, and it's stuck in my head so much as the nickname that I'm having to make a conscious fucking effort to not type Sparkle in the Darkle when putting up the new posts. It's... No!
It's awesome.
It's disgruntling as all hell because I gotta do this shit every Mondays and Tuesdays.
Let the dark will take you.
Fuck you.
Oh.
Alright. But, yeah. So, how's everyone's week been?
Me.
I can now drive vehicles and not get arrested.
Oh, nice.
Say it's been an epic finale since we carried on with our story.
There was an arrow to the knee.
Uh,
As Hades spoke on it.
Of
Who
course.
died?
knee's heart.
Yeah.
Who?
Knee. Athil. You know what? As long as we're on that topic, might as well just jump straight into this week's Final Fantasy D6 recap, because yes, we did finally get to play it again. We just finished it. Yeah, we just wrapped up a little under an hour ago. So, about half the players aren't joining us today because one of them had to go do stuff with, I'm assuming, their brother, and the other one was called to do chores around the house. Oh, excuse me. Disappointing. But anyways, so this session picked up right where the last one left off. The party had just finished, burning up a barrel filled with plague-infected body parts that had been intended to be thrown into the river by a bunch of evil cultists. The party stopped that and burned the barrel so that the limbs wouldn't be put to such evil use. Then, after that, the party made the return trip to Marasu. On the way back, Thanatos had something happen while they were camping that I won't go into.
Yeah.
That rattled him in some capacity. He was none too pleased by what had transpired. And following that, the party finished their return trip to Marasu, where they were paid for their work by Laren Kane and told that they didn't really have any immediately pressing matters to attend to. After some back and forth and hypothesizing and theorizing, the party split up to do a few things around town, with Alistair and Rocket going to purchase new items and equipment, and Neothil and Thanatos going to the inn and tavern to drink. Because that's the thing those two do. They're drinking buddies at this point.
Also, we're both very depressed in our own ways.
Oh, yeah.
And I spoil Rocket like crazy.
Oh, yeah. Alistair bought Rocket a new suit of armor.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. And himself a
She's
shield.
worth it.
Yeah. A new suit of armor, himself a shield, and both of them some potions. And then they also fucked off to the castle to talk a little bit with some of the people there, Tam Uman and Mika Solwyn, some of the people who are helping to try and cure this plague, or at least help those who are infected and maintain order and heal wounds. While they were off doing that, Thanatos and Neothil found themselves back in the Whiskers Corner Inn and Tavern, where they talked for a little bit, and Neothil tried to get some info out of Thanatos as to why he was acting so distant all of a sudden, hoping to return the favor because he listened to her the previous night. He figured she should listen to him, but he decided wasn't ready to divulge anything just yet, and so once Neothil determined that she wasn't going to get anything out of that, she noticed this exotic and frankly extraordinarily sexy dancer that works in the Inn and Tavern and decided to go say hi.
She's sexy and she knows it.
Oh god,
oh,
I can see where I'm going.
Anyways,
Fuck, didn't they?
the following
It's a bloody meme.
the following conversation was exceedingly awkward, but to any observers also exceedingly amusing. And it wound up ending with the dancer in question, who goes by the name Luska, telling Neothil that the things Luska does at home, relax in a chair, read a book, maybe sip some tea, and ignore suitors.
What?
Which is a huge burn.
You know, suitors, courters, people who want to romance you.
Oh.
Yep.
That's what
People are
suitors-
hitting on you.
Yeah.
She has a boundary of no suitors allowed.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, in her line of work, she'd constantly be being approached and, actually taking someone as a partner and still getting approached, which create tension that no one really wants.
Mm.
So she just figures it's better to just not.
Don't do it.
Yeah, and it was a very harsh, and I didn't even have Tom roll like a persuasion check or anything, and the reason for that is he didn't try to persuade her to consider his character. She just said ignore suitors. He didn't then try to negotiate a potential compromise or anything. He's just like, oh, okay. That's why.
I mean, at that point, it was just, well, yeah.
Yeah, that's what we mean by an arrow to the knee. Neothil got shot down trying to flirt, and so that was an arrow right through Knee's heart, and by extension, an arrow through Knee. So an arrow to the knee. I am not pleased
This
by
is
this.
sad.
I am not pleased by this Skyrim reference.
I mean,
That meme is-
This is so sad. Can we get 20,000 likes on this video?
No.
Oh, that's not that shit. But yeah, at that point, I could have tried to continue on, but at that point, in Nee's character, she was just so fucking just done.
For the record, I did not consent to the meme that was dropped in this episode.
None of us did. None of us did.
Yeah,
Nobody consents to memes being dropped.
Next up,
No.
Starfish.
Well, anyways,
Her-
following
Her
that,
heart shattered. She was flustered, embarrassed, and there was an ale on the table that just called her name.
so following that disaster of an attempt at flirting, Rocket and Alistair showed up at the palace to interact with Tam and Mika, learned a little bit more about the plague, mostly that it's not just unnatural, it's straight up magical in nature, which helps them narrow down at least a little bit what they might be able to do about it, and potentially its origin point. And after a short back and forth, the party was granted with a book on the wildlife of the Morossan Isle that they could potentially use to learn more if they have to venture outside the city again. And furthermore, Rocket stayed behind for a little bit to chat with Tam and Mika, and some information about her backstory was revealed, notably the name of the organization that made her, Devia Corp. Tam and Mika, agreed to...
She was made by DeviantArt.
That's not how that works.
No.
Anyways,
Yeah.
Hey, don't diss DeviantArt. I get a lot of my fanfiction covers from there.
Oh!
What? We're good.
Yeah, sorry, I nearly freaking... Something nearly fell down. Never mind. Sorry.
Really?
Okay. It sounded like you were trying to diss me. It's like, dude, what the fuck?
I'm sorry, man.
I thought we were friends.
We are. I was just stopping something from falling on my PC. Falling on my PC. Ark!
All right. You are forgiven. So,
Thank you.
For now.
So following that disaster of sorts, so After, being told that Mika and Tim would at the very least keep their eyes open for references to a man named Dr. Lazarus, who was apparently the one who made her, as well as
Stereotype name?
as well as references to this DeviaCorp, a seemingly illegal organization, Rocket linked back up with Alistair, and they returned to the Whiskers Corner Inn and Tavern, where they found that Neatha was hopelessly drunk, having drowned her hopeless sorrow in booze, because she said no.
You least tried.
It was so sad, but kind of hilarious.
And honestly, it's better because it got her mind off the more depressing.
Yeah, off of the thing she had to deal with the previous day.
Yeah.
So, with all of that in mind, the party gradually turned in for the night. Rocket preened her feathers because they've been kind of fucked up. And that was where we ended our session. We were able to get 2 hours out of that, some bartering, and plenty of character development. Nicely done.
And some character embarrassment.
Some character development, some character embarrassment, yes. Poor Neothil.
Misty better turn
Someday.
up somewhere, or I will end you.
Alright, well, But anyway.
I'm sure she finds her special someone someday.
But that is our FFD6 recap. It may not seem like a lot, but and really it's not. It was mostly just characters talking to each other and getting some development and lore information out there.
Besides, it doesn't always have to be about conflict. Can
And
develop
these 2 episodes will be called Master and Arrow to the Knee.
Oh no!
No!
Yeah,
It is forbidden.
I am
Tom.
the one editing and uploading these. You have no choice in the matter.
Just
I
don't
mean,
make
we could report your channel to YouTube.
We're
Right.
Can it take it
we're
down?
not gonna
Give
let
a
you
shit,
have your
mate.
cringe meme moment.
Yeah, but I make the thumbnails.
So I'm naming this no one way or the other. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No hangover cure for you.
You son of a bitch.
She will deal with it because it personifies the pains of.
Alright. But I don't really think there's much else to be said about this particular session of FFD6. It was kind of mundane, kind of down to earth, kind of low.
All I can say about it, I'm so glad we're back.
We had
It was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, so next topic on our list. This one comes from Darkness. Apparently, one of his friends at some point had a D&D experience of his own, and Darkness would like to take a moment to share the story of said friend's first D&D experience, because apparently it didn't go quite right. So, Darkness, take it away.
Okay, ladies and gents, it's time for Darkness to tell you another little story.
Gather around, kiddies. Uncle Darkness has a story for you.
Yeah. My friend was the lucky bastard. He's been to DMDs way more than me. Ever since the age of 8, which I envy him. Because his family, he was very fond of it.
Reminds
And
me
he
of mine.
always likes to play all these different characters. But today was, well, not today, but back then, about 3 months and a week ago. Oh,
So was this years ago
It
or
was
3
this-
weeks ago?
3 months and a week ago.
So this wouldn't be his first experience, so I wrote that topic incorrectly.
Well, what I did say is,
Hello, darkness,
He
my old
most-
friend.
really.
Now we know how to bother him like you bully me.
Nah, I'm afraid you're way too late because every server I go to, I'm always greeted like that. I'm used to it. I allow it.
Hello, Darkness, you old coot. I've come to give you a poot.
Okay, that's the most creative one.
Okay, sorry, carry on.
So, yeah, he's played many characters, but that day was very special for him because it was his very first time of being the DMD for once.
The dungeon master, you mean? The
Oh,
DM.
gee.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh
So,
no! Like the first time being the Dungeons and Dragons.
Sorry. Damn it.
Is this like
I
Sword
get-
Art Online, where you live the game?
Wonder what it's like to do that.
We are the game.
I think
Dun, dun,
I
dun,
take my
dun.
luck with Overlord and that, but anyway. And he dropped something again.
I'm not even gonna go get it. Fuck it.
Anyway. He had to take over a DM that couldn't make it to carry on this campaign for a group of people.
He screws it up, don't he?
Luckily, his father made him study of how to be a good DM for about a week and a half, and he seems to be very good at it. But unfortunately, yes, you may know the knowledge, but then you have to meet the people. The people seem pretty fine and all right to hang around with, and it seems simple enough. And they were all happy to see him and accept him as the DM
interim
for the
DM.
evening.
Yeah.
Yes. Until the last player showed up.
Uh-oh.
Oh, shit.
Gone.
And immediately the entire group were not pleased and the happy faces then turned upside down. Because this guy had a real massive problem with him. His ego is the most cringiest thing to be around.
Was it the shipmaster?
And they're like, oh, good. Oh, no, it's him again. What's wrong? Oh, give it a moment. You will find out. Ah, comrades. Good, you all make it. I might have to do double the work if none of you showed up. So, who's this? Who is he? He's not the original DM. He couldn't make it, so he's the replacement. He best know how to DM. Well, I've been practicing for a week and a half. Well, if you mess up, you best not mess up me. Okay. That's not
Priorities.
really... Don't worry, I can get it all right, and I even have the character sheets here, and I have read this, right? What? What's wrong with it? Is this his name? Yeah, just roll with it. Just roll with it. Okay. Welcome back to the group. Sorry, but Lord Victorious, what kind of name is that?
Oh God. No.
I know. Even I was like, what the fuck when I heard this name? And I thought, well, that's a funny joke to call someone. No, that's his literal character name.
No.
That is pretty bad.
Oh, didn't I tell you that they were changing their name to Knee Victorious?
No! Don't! I don't want double the cringe, thanks.
So if this player, so question: if this player is so disliked by everyone else, why is he still part of the group?
They can't get rid of him.
Why not?
Because the biggest pain in the ass, he is the heavy hitter, and some frickin' how, apparently, he's taken out the biggest threats.
Okay,
Which you would think is a good idea,
okay.
keeping him around, if it wasn't for him boasting about it a lot.
Just from the snippet of his personality, I also imagine he'd kick up a fuss.
This sounds like the situation. DM pulls a divine intervention and just kills the character.
Plus, the DM doesn't want a huge, massive argument with this guy because he's a pretty buff guy, where the DM who's in charge of this group is a pretty scrawny little fellow.
So he's basically being intimidated to let an asshole stay in the group.
Yeah, pretty
I'm
much.
pretty sure that's called bullying.
I mean, I saw a similar story where some guy tried to pull something similar, and he basically just told him to get out. He said no, he wasn't going anywhere, and they pointed out that he's no longer welcome in his home, and if he doesn't get out, he's going to call the police for trespassing.
Mm,
Yikes.
That caused him to run away.
mm. And probably another reason is because, well, all he does is freaking boast, which can get annoying, but he hasn't harmed anyone except the sanity. So I still don't see how he hasn't got kicked out. But anywho, my friend decided to question his name. So, why did you give yourself such a name? Are you some DM you are? Have you not checked the history? I have never lost against a foe. I took down mighty beasts. So therefore, I'm always victorious. But what's the Lord part about? Simple. I'm the Lord of all bitches, of course.
So that makes
I would
sense.
have. If I was
So-
DM,
so-
I would have
so-
looked at him and told him to get out.
Exactly. And I mean, if he's the Lord of all bitches, doesn't that make him the biggest bitch of them all? Isn't he insulting himself? That's kind of a contradictory thing. If he's the Lord of all bitches, how the hell is he victorious against anything in this
I mean, I
context?
don't think
Bitches
this
tend to
guy has
run the
the-
hell away.
I don't think this guy has the mental capacity to fully embrace and
Even I
comprehend the
thought
full
that. About that.
Wow.
meaning of.
My mate was going to question that, but he didn't want him to go into detail to that, so he just let it slide and just wanted to get on with this and not delay anymore, since he was like 10 or 14 minutes late. So they carried on where they last left off. They were going through the woods to find this terrible evil sorcerer who's managed to control the minds of animals, but also now is doing it on people as well. And if he succeeds, he will pillage an entire city, which then he will add more to the forces to his ranks, and basically go on a huge whole world conquering. And it's up to them to find this sorcerer and kill him before he succeeds. His armies get way too big for them to handle.
All right.
I feel like this is a stereotypical villain trying to take over the world scheme.
Seems like it.
Kind of sounds like a from an unnamed property we all enjoy. What's his name? Starts with something.
Which one?
He is sombrero or something like that.
Sombra doesn't control animals in a forest. He makes
But he
dark
controls people's minds.
after thunking a helmet on them, yes. But he mostly does dark crystal magic shit and fear.
As for this guy, he's just capable of doing it with frickin' pure magic. He doesn't need no fancy helmets, I guess. But anywho, which they would know more about this sorcerer, except near the end of the last campaign, this happened.
in the previous session.
Yes, the previous session.
Get your terminology.
Which when I
right,
heard
buddy.
this, I couldn't bloody believe it.
Did Victorious just kill the guy they were questioning?
No, this is what happened. So, if you give me a moment, I can give you some vital information. No need. We're on our way immediately. I would advise you take some important information, for we managed to gather it and lost quite a few people getting this information. So, could you please just wait a moment while I explain? Nope. The longer we wait, the more powerful his forces are getting, you foolish man. We shall be on our way immediately. But I like to hear what he says. Get a move on.
Wow. This
Fine.
is a player to kick right away, immediately.
Mhm.
Get rid. Why is he still here?
He did try one more time until he intimidated the guy with information with his sword, which he surprisingly successfully had a critical success. So the guy kept his mouth shut. And
Jesus.
fine, go along in the forest. Don't blame me if something should happen to you, prick. What was that? Nothing?
You're prick.
After walking through the forest, yes, well, three of them were walking through the forest. As for him, he decided to leg it through the bloody forest because for some strange reason he has, despite him so-called being victorious, he has no sense of patience whatsoever. He just wants to rush in. How the fuck did this guy succeed? I will never, ever understand. I say his dice rolls are bullshit. But
He has
besides-
loaded dice.
Luck of the dice can only last so long.
While he was zooming ahead, about a few feet ahead of his own group, his group was unfortunate, for as they were trying to keep up with him, but also being cautious because they don't know what they're going to walk into, unfortunately, they got surrounded. And where's the heavy hitter? Just on the edge of the forest, far away from them, but they're pretty much near the center.
A few dozen yards away.
Yeah. Which I feel sorry for this group when I hear what's left behind. We had a white mage, a ranger, and a thief against quite a few nasty, aggressive animals.
By white mage, do you mean cleric?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tomato, tomato.
Do you mean just generic healer kind of character?
He's just all about healing. He has nothing else about him. He's only got like things to heal people, no much defense. So that's going to be a bit of a bugger. The thief obviously only has a freaking dagger. And as for the ranger, a bow and arrow. He did have a sword, but because of an unfortunate encounter, he lost it. So he's just stuck with a bow and arrow and didn't get the chance to get a new one because he was always being rushed by the other guy. I think I should have a melee weapon. Nah, you'll be fine. All you need is that bow and arrow. You don't need no other weapon. I'm pretty sure I need a close range weapon.
Lord Victorious. Only victorious because he lets everyone else die first so the enemies are weakened when he comes in to kill them.
So anyway, while they're going to fight off between ravenous wolves under the control of this sorcerer and a frickin' bear, and a few people that are unfortunate to fall under his control. As for the mighty heavy hitter, or known as the heavy arsehole, he decided just to carry on ahead and ignore the cries of hell.
Wow.
And then stand before him was an old man, just a few feet away. So he started to charge towards him until my friend, being I suppose, a genuine nice DM, spoke up. Before you charge in, I would probably roll for an awareness to check your surroundings. It's just an old man. I'm just suggesting, okay? Because I don't think charging in is always a good idea. Especially if you're just going up against a sorcerer. You do realize they have, like, ranged weapons. Fine, I roll. Pointless anyway. And he rolled a pretty high number, which, as his character was looking around, he noticed there was a huge freaking, like, unusual patch on the ground, which probably be a trap of such. But instead of him walking around it, he spoke up and said, I attempt to jump over this ridiculous trap.
Please tell me he fell in.
You want to jump over it? You could just walk around it. No time! Okay.
No time to be smart! I'm an idiot!
I could jump a mere little hole. This hole is like 4 feet wide. I can make it.
Is the player Zach Brannigan?
Okay.
My
Whoa, then.
my arrogance knows no bounds.
But I think the only
campaign.
I think the only way you could clear that hole though is a critical success. What?
What?
Right.
What?
You successfully run towards the old man, jump over the hole, and make it on the other side about a few centimeters in front of him. I feel sorry for my friend. Meanwhile, in the woods, they're not doing too well. The thief managed to kill a few of the wolves, but had a little bit of trouble with the bear, which luckily the good ranger went to have a shot at the beast, only to accidentally shot his friend instead because he rolled a low number. The arrow instead just missed the bear and hit his friend in the shoulder. Whoops. Which, of course, this happened. What the heck? Sorry, man, I didn't mean to hit you, I swear. I think there's someone in my eyes or something. You shot me with a bloody arrow, you asshole. I'm sorry. Shit. Where the hell is that? Great heavy hitter. Say my name. Lord Victorious, where are you? I'm fighting the sorcerer at the moment, so you have to wait. It would be so kind of you if you could just come back for a while. No.
Wow, what a team player!
The thief and the ranger are doing their best to keep the healer alive as best they can.
I mean, checked a minute, but it'd be kind of
He's hitting himself right now.
it'd be kind of a different matter if the character was supposed to be an asshole, but the player just sounds like an.
Yeah.
He kind of makes me think of those people that play aimbot just so they can brag that they're good on games.
Mm-hmm. And then there was a horrible war in the distance, which they thought, what the hell was that?
Victoria.
And they saw trees being pushed aside like they were nothing as something big was coming towards them.
Oh no.
And it turns out, which one of the vital information they would have heard about, that there's been a few rumors he might have gotten a few trolls on his side. And there were
Yeah, the cave troll.
two massive horrible trolls that smashed through a few trees and heading towards the healer.
Oh no.
Which the thief just looked at them as like, you are fucking kidding me. Don't worry, I got this. And you, shoot the troll, not me. I try. I mean it. If you want to survive, shoot the trolls. As for Victorious, he was facing off against the old man, which he went to swing at him and did a considerable amount of damage that almost killed him. Which then he started to bleed for mercy. Please, have mercy. I didn't do anything wrong. Silence, sorcerer. Your mind control powers will not get in my head today. This is where you die.
Let me guess, the old man's
What?
not the
Are you
sorcerer.
mad? I'm not the sorcerer. That's what a sorcerer would say. No! I am the guy you're supposed to rescue, you fool! What? I was the guy who got kidnapped and took in hostage and also managed to gain all the knowledge of my books, which is why he's frickin' doing this. Wait, so you, Okay, then. If you're just a random old man, then where's the sorcerer? And then, just a few distance ahead on a hillside, the sorcerer was staring at him with an evil smirk upon his face and a bit of a evil laugh. Which, as my friend put, as he probably thought, I would have made my move earlier, but I have to say, this has got to be the most stupidest thing I have ever seen. I had to watch and see how this plays out until you realize that's not me. And I went to, sorry, I'm afraid you can't make an attack move. You've already done your attacks. Oh, but my companions, they're back in the woods fighting off other foes. And yes, they've done all their moves and attacks. So that means it's the enemy's turn.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Ruh-roh.
And the sorcerer, catching Victorious by surprise, he was the one that's going to strike first. So he charges up his staff and then shoots a huge blast that knocks Victorious off his feet and send him flying 3 feet right in the center of the pit he avoided.
Oh!
Through it,
Ooh.
and he got impaled by a load of spikes at the bottom.
Oh.
Critical.
And he was dead.
Yes! A fitting end for such a grouse. Murdered by his own
And the-
stupidity. I approve.
Yep. The guy was completely shocked and could not believe his champion character, or failure of a character, no offense, is
All the
dead.
offense. All the offense. Let's not.
All the offense.
You know what? Yeah,
Does
fuck
he
it.
try to blame
You got up with the worst
on the
name
media?
ever and the worst character. Yeah, I'm full offense. Back in the woods, it's so unfortunate for them as well. The thief tried his best, but he got clobbered to a pulp. The ranger tried something, but then one of the sneaky bastards, one of the people that was under the control, snuck up behind him and slit his throat.
Oh,
So he
geez.
was unfortunate. And it was just a white rage all on his own. And he just cast his last spell. He had nothing much left.
Did he run?
And he was surrounded by a few wolves. But just before he met his demise by a pack of ravenous wolves, he did at least say one final few words. What a fucking liberty. And they just swarmed on him and teared him limb from limb. The entire
Wow.
party was
Fucking
sadly
liberty.
dead. Yep.
Because of Lord Victorious lost everything for his entire team. The
Yep.
irony is real, and karma is real.
Yep.
Sounds
There was a-
almost like Gonk, except Gonk was deliberate and designed to be that.
Yep.
There was a moment of silence
Gog.
until it was broken by the guy who played the thief laughing his ass off because he could not believe of what just happened. The ranger face palming, the freaking healer just giving an angry, pissed off glare at the guy who played Victorious. And as for Mr. Victorious himself, he was just completely mind blown and in complete shock of what the fuck just happened and was speechless. But he did manage to speak. This doesn't count as permanent for us, is it? Well, everyone's dead, but there's a way to come back, right? Nope. I'm afraid how this story ends, you four died, and he managed to successfully invaded the city, got more followers, and proceed throughout parts of the world. Congratulations. You've doomed us all. Fuck. I guess you'd be renaming your title as Lord Shame now.
Lord Shame.
Shame. Shame.
Shame. Shame.
Yep.
Oh.
So he never showed up to another D&D again, and those three, they looked for other people to play with.
Yeah.
But when the original DM come back,
And heard
this is how the story ends. So, how did the campaign go? Yeah, they're all dead.
What?
Wait, what? Yeah.
Lord Victorious got them all killed.
You leave the kids alone for 5 minutes.
And before you had a chance to explain, was it Lord Victorious? Yes. I had a feeling he'd be the death of them all at some point.
Shame I wasn't there to see it.
Yep. And that is how the story ends.
Wow. All right. All right. Well then. Thank you for that, Darkness.
You're welcome.
We have one more planned topic for today's episode of Jibber Jabber, and one probably won't take quite as long to go through. It's a bit more freeform. There's this thing on the internet, this sort of meme that's been happening recently, or a trend, I guess,
God.
called Florida Man horoscopes, where basically you go onto Google, you type in the words Florida Man, followed by your birthday. You don't have to include the year. I was figuring we could go through that one at a time, not necessarily saying what our dates are, just typing them to ourselves, and then once we have something, I go across each of us and we just read off the headlines and we can joke about it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So I'll start. Let's see here. Let's see here.
Can you post a link to where website does this?
Google.
Yeah,
Just go
I
to
was gonna
Google.
say-
Just go to Google and type in Florida Man and then your birthday.
Okay.
Except it seems to be having a hard time. Except because this challenge has gotten on the news, it's now having a hard time actually getting anything to me.
Mm.
Damn it.
Struggling with me too.
Son of a bitch.
Mm.
I got mine.
Lucky you. What is it?
Florida man dropped stolen TV from getaway scooter. One man explained that he was at work when he was told to Google search Florida man. Followed by his birthday. That's what mine says.
Yeah, say that again, please.
Whole sentence?
Yeah.
Florida man dropped stolen TV from getaway scooter. One man explained that he was at work when he was told to Google search Florida man, followed by his birthday. More news for Florida man, June 22nd.
Wow. All right.
Well, I found one, but it takes place 3 days after they. Unfortunately, that's the closest I can get it because it is just flooded with the top "do not do this challenge" thing. So we're gonna go with the one that's 3 days behind mine, since I can't find one for my exact birthday. Florida man at the age of 71 accused of repeatedly exposing himself at eateries placed on house arrest. It then goes on to explain that he's been caught masturbating in several fast food restaurants.
Oh, geez.
Mine is drunk, naked Florida woman charged with child neglect.
That's
Um,
Well, I got it to work, but I don't think I want to read it. It's pretty nasty.
A 24-year-old Florida woman who allegedly was found by her father passed out, naked, and drunk when caring for a young child has been charged with child neglect. Huh.
Okay, that's
and,
pretty
let's see,
nasty.
and mine is Florida man charged with using stolen credit card to fill enormous fuel tank hidden in van.
Really?
What?
There isn't anything else here. It's just Florida man charged with using stolen credit card to fill enormous fuel tank hidden in van. So
Well, mine's pretty depressing. Florida man prisoned for the men who laughed as they tortured a shark in Florida.
Yeah, that's not funny.
No, that's why I did not like it.
Another one
no.
I have is Florida man arrested after hitting
Fuck's
girlfriend in the
sake,
face
why
with
did I get the most
Doritos.
depressing one?
We can look for others.
Fuck my date of birth.
And
Rated.
there's another one here. Florida man throws toilet through school board building window.
Yeah, see, Florida is
Florida.
just
I guess he was having a crappy day.
Paladin.
Mm.
Don't do that,
Shit.
okay, sweetie.
Okay, there.
God, I swear
Oh.
to God, if you're ever free, I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna kick your teeth into the curb, Paladin.
Ah, here's another one.
Okay, that's a bit harsh, even for tone.
Yep, I'm moving on to a different one because all my
No
birthday ones
surprise.
result with fucking sharks being tormented. I have nothing against sharks. I like sharks. Bullshit, man.
Sharks are evil.
Yeah.
Just remember, don't wear red.
Well, no, I shouldn't say that. They're not evil. They just you tend to look like a tasty snack.
Well, believe it or not, sharks don't like the taste of us. But the only ones that do tend to attack us are hammerheads and tiger sharks because they're this aggressive.
They're just stupid.
As for the great white,
Great whites will only attack you if they smell blood.
Just remember, you
Yeah.
look tasty with ketchup.
The
And
same
by
thing-
ketchup, you mean blood.
it's apparently the same thing with also bloody piranhas. They don't like the taste either, which is strange. Except for a certain breed,
no,
the black
hold on.
piranha.
As far as piranhas go, I know that's bullshit. You want to know why? Because I've
ahead.
seen an exhibit of piranhas at the Chattanooga Aquarium. They fucking swarm around people all the time. They do not care what it is. If they can sense a heartbeat, they want to eat it.
Oh God, here's another one.
Yeah, but there has been a few people that survived with a few bite marks, and then that was it.
Yeah,
And they could
I
have been
mean,
eaten to
people
death,
have
but
survived shark attacks too. It still sucks.
Yeah. But anyway, what are you going to say, Jamas?
I think I'm actually gonna pass on that one because that one's actually not funny either.
Oh my god, has all the good ones been taken?
Let's see here.
I mean, it's Florida. They're not many good ones.
Let's see. There's one from let's see here. Never mind.
Now that's not even one. That's just explaining what Florida man is.
Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. Florida's fucking weird.
And Google's not even trying to be funny about it.
Yeah. Well.
Come on, Google. Where's your sense of humor?
Oh well. Crazy shit.
Uh,
Yeah. I don't think we're really gonna get much more mileage out of that. It's not quite as much as I was
So-
hoping. Oh well.
So I guess it'd be improv then. Oh, hang on.
So,
What's this one?
for a random thing we were talking about earlier, here the Paladin and Soviet, have you seen the new live-action Dora the Explorer where she has a combat knife?
I haven't actually. I have not actually watched that trailer yet.
So
I have no clue what you're talking about.
I was
I
just
mean,
laughing because I
when
actually
you-
found one that's a bit
If you were a
funny.
small child, did you ever see that, like, preschooler or reception class age child for British people? A show called Dora the Explorer.
I've heard of it. I've seen it a couple times when I was a child, but not often.
Well,
Yeah, for those not in the know, it's a show for very, very small children where it just consists of a young girl called Dora with a talking, just going somewhere, singing some songs and teaching kids to count, all
I see.
while being hounded by a fox called Slifer.
Slifer the
Slifer.
Sky.
Yeah.
Slifer the Sky Swiper.
Slifer. Yeah. But yeah, it's not something like MLP, which actually has a plot and lore and storyline. It's just something very basic, teach kids to count kind of thing. They've turned that into a live action movie where she's now a teenager, done up for sex appeal, and is like being kidnapped by the bad guys, waking up in a crate and pulling out a combat knife to combat them.
What?
Okay, that's unusual.
I'm sorry. What are we talking about again?
Dora the Explorer. We are talking
The live
about
action
Dora the
movie.
Explorer.
Now adult and edgy,
no.
and he's more like
You know-
Lara fucking Croft.
You know, why does Godzilla ending up in MLP sounds like it makes more sense than this?
Hey, there's a fan fiction about that.
I know, which I recently just come across.
And apparently it's really good, though I haven't read it.
Yep.
That's another really good
Read it,
fanfic that's kind of... I'm getting into
Might
that
as well. I'm trying to get into it, but the annoying thing is there's only one chapter of chapter 1, a YouTuber, and he hasn't released any more videos about a year, which is a shame.
You could
I'm
just-
hoping there's more.
You could just
Speaking
read
of
it yourself.
weird fanfic
I would read,
crossovers,
but I don't have the time. It'd take me forever to read it all because of the work I do.
Tom, you were saying?
yes. So speaking of weird fanfic crossovers, I've been getting back into the Mass Effect series lately because I played them off of Stellaris, and I got the desire to do a complete playthrough of 1 through 4. And I found a freaking crossover between Mass Effect 2 and My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, called, if I can just quickly get the title, 1 second, Mass Effect 2 DLC, The Equestrian Equation, where essentially everything in... It's apparently really good, because everything inside the MLP universe is explained with Mass Effect science, and also the world of Equestria itself is a simulation, because all the ponies are plugged in after being almost wiped out by a previous Reaper cycle.
Huh. Okay.
Oh.
And like the Alicorns are all AI and shit that are meant to keep them in there. Like Pinkie Pie's
Wait a
fourth wall
fucking
breaking,
second.
because Pinkie Pie's fourth wall breaking, because she's the only one who knows they're in a program and they can't erase her memory. She keeps remembering. So like, fuck it, just let her keep remembering, erase everyone else's memory every time she talks about it.
Wow,
And
that
Okay.
Twilight also keeps remembering and is constantly traumatized, so keeps wiping her own mind of it as well. Until, the Normandy get a billions of year old distress call and find the ruins of what used to be Equus. And then cancel it used to be like this hidden stasis chamber with 300 pods just still sitting there.
you just reminded me of the fic where Twilight ended up in XCOM because of a certain
Oh, that's Stardust. That's really good, that one as well. Yeah. But yeah, the Mass Effect fic ends, obviously, what I was seeing, because I read the TV tropes, just rather than reading it because I don't have time, but I was just looking for the TV tropes of it, where Celeste, Discord's also an AI, he's still a dick, he's a corrupt AI.
Oh dear.
Celestia, after... Oh, Shepard's called there by Cerberus because they're interested. Because apparently during the Reaper War, initially the ponies were winning. They were kicking their asses with this advanced tech. Because they weren't relying on the mass relays until the original Celestial and all that got indoctrinated and had to be killed, which resulted in the Equestrians losing and Twilight putting what was left under. But it kind of comes out where Cerberus tries to screw Shepard over, they stop it, and the AI Celestia kind of in this maddened state of wanting to keep the entire population in stasis, even though the stasis is failing, they're all going to die within another 100 years, kind of ends up being an antagonist that Shepard has to deal with the help of Twilight and the Luna AI.
This is
And
why you don't trust machines or AIs.
Yeah. And it all ends with Discord then kind of gets free again and starts calling it a Reaper invasion in the simulation, kind of just trying to destroy it all.
Jesus.
Oh my goodness.
Shepard and Twilight wake up and manage to wake up everyone else, and to prevent Cerberus from getting the advanced tech, they start a self-destruct in the facility, which will pretty much destroy the entire planet, which is already a dead rock anyway.
Mhm.
So obviously magic in this is just biotic. Twilight's just an extremely powerful biotic.
Okay.
It was similar-
What?
I will simulate the many nations.
So the 300 ponies are actually left. Like, some of the characters were AI, like Silver Spoon was real, for example, but Diamond Tiara was not. They then have to evacuate what's left of the population to the Normandy, with the help of some of the AI. Like, the Chrysalis AI tried to stop them, but she kind of got locked out by the Cadence AI, who put her on mute.
Shut up, Chrissy. The big ponies are talking. But
Yeah, like, she sent a bunch of, like, mechs in the shape of changeling drones after Shepard's crew as they were fighting through the facility. And Cadence just put Chrysalis on mute and she started raging and just shut all the AI, shut all the mechs off, and then just told the crew to leave.
As soon as you said Silver Spoon, it just reminded me of that video message.
But yeah, so with the help of some of the biotics on the Normandy and Twilight on the ground, they make this big biotic bridge between the Normandy and the planet as the entire thing is starting to crack and fall apart. We managed to get what's left of the population on board and then get the fuck out of Dodge just as the whole planet cracks apart, destroying all the Cadence, Luna, Celestia AI, and Discord AIs, and all what was left of the equestrian technology. Though Spikes, who was also an AI, like resembling the Dragon Twilight used to have, was uploaded into a changeling mech that got brought on board, so he survived.
Nice.
Oh.
Which and then post story, they had to acclimatize to the fact that obviously their whole life, that the equestrian, all that wasn't real, and they had to acclimatize to being in the real world again, and that LP logic doesn't necessarily work in the Mass Effect universe, where they were now essentially classified as an endangered species, being only 300 strong, and then given an unoccupied part of the Citadel to claim as New Ponyville.
Nice. I might have to read this at some point.
I gotta read it.
Ooh, do a reading of it.
No.
Yeah, and the fun thing is, it's finished now, but as it was going on, the readers had the chance of every chapter to choose either a Paragon or Renegade action to decide what the story goes.
Mm.
Like, the readers dictated it through the Mass Effect choice system.
Ah!
Oh my god.
Since
That'd
on
be-
a topic of... Oh, sorry. Carry on.
Yeah, like, obviously everyone went for the good Paragon ending because they want a happy ending for everyone, but like the Renegade, like there was a neutral ending where they could take like this massive star cannon thing that fired like essentially powered by the elements of harmony and could destroy a Reaper in one shot, along with the Cadence and Chrysalis AIs. If they would allow Celestia to keep the population in stasis, Jeb refused that because they would die. And then the Renegade ending was killing all the Equestrians in stasis, including Twilight, and then giving it over to Cerberus. Yeah, readers did not choose that option. No, Very bad.
that sounds like
Speaking of fix, I recently got onto freaking which this is quite a huge coincidence. I was going to use this as a coincidence last week, but coincidentally, well, a while back, I wondered to myself, what would it be like if for some reason Gordon Ramsay ended up in MLP? But it turns out someone created an entire fic of it.
oh dear god. What have they done? No. What have you done?
Hey, I may be British and he's British, but I had no creation of this. I just thought of it as a funny sketch. I didn't actually know someone would do an entire fic. Okay.
Okay.
We've got like a minute left, by the way, so you got to make it snappy.
Yes, it is quite amusing and just how I frickin' imagined. They invite him over there because apparently they've been having a little bit of a health issue with the food. Because some reason, many of them were getting ill, so they heard of Gordon Ramsay. They decided to go in that dimension because they formed some sort of, like, bond, basically like a treaty thing between races when they first ended up there. And so they came over there to ask Gordon Ramsay to see if he's willing to.
Oh no.
Despite him swearing to one of his employees as usual because they're fucking up majorly, and calling them many insults such as donkey and swear words, he decided to oblige and help him out as best he can, which just leads into a whole hilarious British comedy from Gordon Ramsay.
And on that horrifying image, it is time for us to end. So, thank you all, ladies and gentlemen, so much for tuning in to this episode of Jibber Jabber. We hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next week if everything goes well. Keep listening, people. Bye.
Sure.
Bye. Until next time.
Victorious is dead!